We're also talking Great Lakes Kayak Fishing Series, one of the premier fishing series up in the north in just that entire region up there. This is a fantastic club run by some great folks, great anglers throughout, much like we talk about with the All American. Before we get going here, let's go ahead and bring our guest in here. He's sitting in the green room, hanging in there. Mr. Nick himself. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name because I'll probably murder it, but I'm going to try once he gets here. So let's bring Nick in into the show here. What's happening, brother Nick? How are you, man?
Hey, Gene, how are you?
Okay, I'm going to try your last name. Is it Von Gompel?
Van Gumpel, yeah. Pretty
Van
close.
Gumpel. Van
Pretty
Gumpel.
close.
Gotcha. Okay, cool, cool. I'm horrible at names, dude. I'm not a smart guy. And so when it comes to those things, I just avoid it and get permission first.
We did pretty good. I've heard a lot of way off names over the years, but yours was pretty close. So I'll give you
Uh,
credit for that.
Perfect, man. I appreciate it. I'll take it where I can get it. I'll take it where I can get it. Hey, man, before we get rolling, I want to just give some shout outs to our sponsors, of course, for the All American Kayak Series. Of course, this entire season for the All American Kayak Series brought to you by Z Pro Lithium. The entire series this season is powered by Z Pro. And you want to check these guys out here. They've put up a lot of cool prizes for the All American Kayak Series, showing us a lot of love and support. Of course, also on the series for the season, Catch Products, man. Catch Boards, the name that pretty much set the standard for any and everything out there. Catch has done that. I still rely and trust on Catch completely. Remember too, at most of the All American, any of those, if you lose your board or you need a board or whatever, reach out to us. If I'm at the event, I carry a small supply with me that I can sell to you. I don't have any for loaners, but we can sell them to you. A new one coming on this year, a new company making waves. They had a great deal down at AAKS, Dubro Fishing, Dewey Baits. And yep, you see it there, Camp 10 for 10% off on your order. Dubro Fishing has sponsored us. This is a Wisconsin-based company up there, man. Wisconsin, Illinois, they're up in that ballpark.
Oh,
I don't want to, yeah, I don't want to muddy the water. I know there's quite the border, war that goes on with those guys. It'd be like calling, Colorado, Nebraska. I don't know. We gotta be careful.
yeah.
But Dubro Fishing, it's an amazing soft plastic. It's soft enough to maintain the realistic approach and presentation that you're looking for, but yet it's durable enough to catch a lot of fish on one single bait. You don't lose it after one or two baits. And then last but not least, Rogue Gear. Rogue is one of those that with their tethers, man, they go unsung because you buy it once and you don't need to replace it forever. I've had the same tether my entire time that I've been kayak fishing here, and that thing has saved my phone I don't know how many times. Saved my paddle multiple times. Check them out, Rogue Gear. They got all the tethers and lines and so forth that you want. And what's more important, folks at home, I want you to keep this in mind. These are the companies that are supporting the All American. We're gonna hit the 800-pound elephant that's sitting in the room. I'm gonna hit it right in the face. We have been struggling with getting those numbers where they need to be, and regardless of whatever that reason is, know this: there's a group of individuals running around out there that absolutely love what the All American Kayak Series stands for. Loves the fact that we show love as a pretty much a national, a trail to the Midwest angler. It gives local guys an option to go fish something outside of their own backyard for real money and a chance to meet really cool people and fish against some top anglers out there. The All American has done that. Josh Booth and Troy Anke have created a series that is beloved by several of us out there. The best way you can do that to keep that going, to help us out, is spread the word about the All American and come join us, man. Come fish. When you think about it, especially if you're in the local area there, join the All American, keep it going as an option. We all know bass is the name, right? And I predicted that a couple of years ago when bass started getting their feet wet. It's like this is the company that's got the name behind it. They've got the history. They could really make waves. Hobie's still out there doing its thing, and putting up a lot of money and a lot of cool sponsorship. But man, they're going to go where the money goes, right? That's what these national trails do. And it's not a bad thing on them. It's not something negative. It's just the way businesses run with these trails, is that they're going to go to the cities that are going to be able to afford to pay them to come there. We're coming to Minocqua, folks, and I'm telling you right now, we don't have a single organization in that neck of the woods that even has a reason to try to pay somebody to come there because they stay busy up there. So we're going to Minocqua because it's a great place. It's a great atmosphere, amazing fishery, and we want to keep being able to do things like that. So help us out there. If it means something to you as a local angler there, make sure to jump in and at the very least, if you can't come fish with us, spread the word about the events out there. All right, I paid the bills, Nick. I appreciate your patience here, brother. Let's talk. Nick, who the heck are you?
Oh, no problem. I'm from Wisconsin, lived and grew here my whole life, grew up here, and I left for a short stint. I did venture across that Wisconsin-Illinois border for about 4 years of my life for grad school. And that was enough of that. So I lived right downtown Chicago, had my fill of the city life, and then got out of there. Moved back to Wisconsin and bounced around a little bit throughout my early part of my career, but have now landed back in Milwaukee, where I kind of originally moved to right out of grad school. So work as a pharmacist, but really do a lot of fishing on the side. So bought a kayak in 2015. I think it's been
Oh,
almost
wow.
3 years I've had it. Same one. It's a Hobie kayak. I bought it specifically for Lake Michigan because I lived in an area where I'm like, I just want to go catch salmon on Lake Michigan.
Nice.
Just getting out of school, you have no money when you get out of school. You can't
Right.
you can't buy a boat. You're not paying docking fees. So I'm like, kayaking. Yeah, I can get out there. I got legs to power me out there. So bought the Hobie, bought all the rod holders and accessories to go with it, and fished one salmon tournament. They're like, "You coming back to do bass tournaments in the spring?" I'm like, "Sure. Who can't
Why
catch
not?
a bass?
Why not?
Who can't catch a bass out of a kayak? Sure, no
Right.
problem."
Right. Easy peasy.
Yeah. So what I thought I spent a lot on salmon equipment, then I tripled it at least on bass stuff.
Isn't that the truth, man?
It spirals quickly, as everyone is aware. You buy stuff that you probably don't use. It sits in a box for years, and then you end up giving it to your nephew or something.
And then how? What I end up trying to do is finding places that I can donate it to, like kids fishing
Yeah.
programs. Yeah, I just did that. I also donated a whole pile of stuff from our dealer days as well to a local fishing club here, the biggest one in the state, the Colorado Kayak Fishing Club, so that they could give away. Because I know some people are going to get
Yep.
use out of this stuff, but it would look pretty bad on me if I'm using, stuff other than the folks that are supporting us, right? So that's just the nature of the game, right? So yeah.
Yeah, if you can find a way to somehow give it to some kids, that they love that stuff. My nephew he's young, yeah, he's like 5, and it could be half a bag of plastics. I just don't use it anymore, or I don't like it, and
Sure.
he loves it. It didn't matter if it was terrible; it's perfect to him. So
and as an angler, bass anglers specifically, but as an angler in general, you have your trust baits, right? I mean, you have your confidence in. I've actually gone the opposite way. When I first started off, man, I had every color known to man and I had no wallet left to speak of because I was buying all the baits that were meant to catch fish and catch fishermen. You know what I mean?
and they worked, didn't they? They caught at least one of the two.
At least one or two fish on them, right? And then I was convinced that had to be the deal.
Yep.
Nowadays, when you look at my stuff, there are 3 variations of just about everything. There's white and black, and then there's green pumpkin. That's pretty much all I carry. Occasionally, though, because I do hunt smallmouth, so I will do like a real bright chartreuse, maybe a June bug because I like to play around in Missouri, and then a bubble gum here and there, just because I've seen that even work up north on big green ones. Sometimes we'll come after bubble gum.
Yeah, there's a couple of times of year you see those like really bright fluorescent orange or the pink ones come out. It's either people that are bed fishing, or for whatever reason, if there's a lake up north or Sturgeon Bay, sometimes you see guys in the middle of summer fishing deep water with a bright pink worm. I'm like, that's not going to work. It ain't the right color. It's not what they're looking for, but they still come back with fish.
Yeah, for sure. Every once in a while. And I always forget. I literally, from year to year, I'll forget when the right time to throw it is. So I'm back on YouTube again. I'm back Googling it up going, when the hell should I throw that? I just racked that up that I've got too much going in and well, actually not enough coming in and too much coming out of the old memory these days.
Too many options still too in the old tackle bag. So if you open it up and you only have 3 colors, it's a pretty easy choice. But
right.
If you have 25 colors, suddenly you got to do a little research, find out which one's best, and then play around with them a little bit.
But and I think as anglers, we're also predisposed to FOMO in a major way, right? I think
100%.
I think that hits us. Got a couple people joining in us here. Looks like from the YouTube channel here, Tim Williams. What's up, Tim? We appreciate you checking in with us, buddy. And then we've got one of our brothers here from Colorado, Mr. Craig McMillan. How are you, Craig? Appreciate you tuning in, man, and saying what's up. Our loyal army here through Colorado. You know, Nick, I talk about this quite a bit because it's in the kayak business, and this is a great segue into what I wanted to start asking you, and that is the Colorado kayak community as a whole. And here's another guy that just moved out here, active military, Mr. Justin Brickland. How are you, brother? Good to see you, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Um, they're one of the most supportive and backing communities I've ever seen, even on the days that we're trying to take each other's money. You know, we're taking food from each other's kids' mouths, right? But yet it is done in the most, honorable, like, I feel like it's this, like, I don't know, hydro samurais running around out there. But angler, you can compete at the high level with each other, but it's just such a cool community. And we're so blessed to have our clubs. The Great Lake Kayak Fishing Series is very much like that because I know a lot of the anglers that fish that, and these are some great human beings, man. What brought you to the Great Lakes Kayak Fishing Series?
Yeah, it's a club that started back in 2014. So this is our 11th year in operation. Obviously, I wasn't the leadership side of it back then when I first got going, but I started fishing with them in 2015 with that
Nice.
salmon event, and then picked it up full time in 2016 and been with them ever since. Started 5 or 6 years ago as kind of a tournament director and planning events throughout the season and kind of really operating things throughout the year. So it's a really fun event. We got a really core, strong group of anglers. It's fun. We travel around the state a little bit more. So we'll be in La Crosse, Minocqua, down the south side of Wisconsin. It's also down in Illinois.
Nice.
At the origination of the club, we tried to stay around the Chicago, Kenosha region and really didn't want to go more than 2 hours away. We kind of tried to stick to that. But with all of these bigger clubs, like you mentioned Bass, you mentioned Hobie, we want to make sure that we get experience on those waters of Wisconsin as well. Because when they come to Wisconsin, those clubs are going to La Crosse. They're going to go to Sturgeon Bay. They're going to go to those big bodies of water that garner a lot of national attention. So
Right.
we've thrown those into the mix over the years as well. And really, there's a couple other great clubs in the state, and we partner with them for some bigger events like the Badger State Open and the Badger State Kayak Championship as well.
That's awesome, man. And I've had a lot of guys on here over the past year and a half, 2 years when we started reaching out to other anglers. And I've started a small series also here where I'm reaching out to like Southern Nevada and New Mexico, and we're talking to those clubs as well because it behooves us all to keep our sport moving in the right direction. Um, Kayak fishing, hit that COVID high, right? It all jacked up. Now things are settling down a little bit, and that
Yeah.
that we've got the honeymoon's over, and now we're got to settle in and do some good business. You just saw it at ICAST. While there was a couple big releases, there was no real, I don't think, any real game changers, thrown out like they do every year.
We
Um,
talked a big release. What was that kayak that launched, the really big one that
the
came out?
Bonafide
The Bonafide is huge.
Bonafide battleship that they launched.
It's pretty much what it looks like. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
almost land a plane on the front of that thing. It's huge.
Designed for two motors, which what a bold deal because you just got Hobie accepting motors. And Bassmaster is very adamant about one motor only.
Saw that.
Um,
I was wondering how that's going to mix with the rules, or if you have to take one off while you fish. I'm sure that they've worked that out, but
you
it's
know
going to
what
be interesting.
national trail allows two motors, Nick? The All American Kayak Series allows you to put two motors on. We're completely fine as long as you're within the regulations of the manufacturer's specifications of your vessel. You can put two motors on the All American. We're fine with it if that's what you want to do. I'm actually going to try it. I've got a New Canoe Unlimited is what I run, and she's a beast.
Mhm.
It's a lightweight beast, but it's a beast. It can handle it. I've got a 650-pound rating, on this craft. Yeah, at 41 inches, 42 inches wide, man. She can handle it. So I'm gonna have a Newport on the back and an XI3 on the front, and I just want to see is there any real advantage to be like I was in my boat where I got transom power to get me there and then trolling motor once I'm in the area I want to be. The only thing I could think of where it would allow me is I could probably shed some weight on my 12 volt. I wouldn't need to carry a 100 amp hour with me. I could probably go down to like a 32 amp hour or something, or a 50 or something. But there's not a lot of weight difference with my amped outdoors. It's like it's 26 pounds at 100 amp. I mean, how much lighter do you need it to be, right?
Exactly. And those bigger batteries, you only need to carry one. You can run it all weekend long. It's what I do.
Yeah.
I don't even bring my charger along anymore. We got a 30-hour or 30 amp hour amped battery, and that thing lasts all weekend.
Yeah, for sure. I do the same. That's what powers my lights and my electronics.
Yep.
Yeah. No, man, it's like I said, the series, the people that are involved in it, it's a great deal. You guys are choosing to come up here. You know the area. Talk to me about Minocqua, man. I'm out here and checking out one of the best websites out here, and it's ironic that I'm talking about these guys because I tried to see if I could get these guys to work with us, but again, I don't blame them for the fact that this is their busy season, and it's Let's Minocqua. Let's Minocqua is the Visitors Bureau Center out there.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, go to minocqua.org and go check out the local area, man. I'm telling you, guys that are on the fence about wanting to come up, bring the family with you. Come fish a tournament with the Great Lakes or All American, or do them both. That would be the best thing. And then take the family to go see an amazing part of this beautiful country, because this is the time where, in my opinion, you can't beat that area, man. Northern Wisconsin, up UP, Michigan. Come on, that is
It's
gorgeous.
absolutely beautiful. It almost feels like you're in Canada. It's not that far of a drive. You don't need a passport, but it's going to feel the exact same way. A lot of wilderness, a lot of undeveloped shoreline. So if you like fishing lakes that don't have docks everywhere, you're not going to have pontoons up and down. You're not going to have ski boats or wakeboard boats. This is a place to be. There's so much water up there. I think Minnesota is a land of 10,000 lakes. I think the 50-mile radius that you gave us for this tournament probably has 10,000 lakes on its own.
The tournament of 10,000 lakes.
That's maybe what we should dub this one. There's just so much water. So you will find a lake that you can fish. If you want to fish docks, you can find a populated lake and fish docks. If you want to find a lake that's got a river flowing in and out that has more bears than people, you're going to find that too.
So talk to me. We put a 50-mile radius on it just because of the people that really pushed to have this on the schedule. They really wanted that 50-mile radius. And to be honest with you, if those are the guys that are coming to this thing, then that's what we're going to do. I mean, at the end of the day, when you guys go up there without anybody else, what is your normal, boundary set that the Great Lakes normally puts on something like this?
There's so much up there that you can fish. What we've typically done in the past is we'll pick 3 or 4 lakes that are by each other, and those are the 3 or 4 lakes you get to fish. And there's still enough variability within those couple of bodies of water that one lake might be on fire while the other one is, guys are going to struggle. So you still have to do a little exploration. You still have to know a little bit about the lakes and the type of fishery that it is. Most of them are very similar. Most of them are going to be stained water, like tannic water, rather. A lot of iron in the rocks up there. Deep, clear water with smallmouth. You can find largemouth. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty up there. But majority of the lakes are going to be those smallmouth lakes. That's what a lot of guys are going to go after. There are weedy, shallow, mud-based lakes. So if that's the type of lake you want to fish, bring a frog rod. You'll find some lily pads. Go after them that way. Swim jig, of course, is always going to be a lights-out lure up there. But drop shot, Ned rig, jerk baits, those are going to be the things that I'm going to be throwing up there. I'm going after the smallmouth.
Heck yeah. Yeah, our last year's winner, Mr. Jordan Westerman, he is no stranger to he might be one of the best smallmouth. Well, there's no question he is one of the best smallmouth anglers in this country. But I think there'd be an argument, that give him the right stage and the right room to work, and he might prove to be the best. The guy is a smallmouth whisperer, right? So the bag he put up last year was pretty impressive, and he was dealing the first day. He was dealing with one eye.
That's right. I forgot all about that. He had a little injury.
Yeah, exactly. So it was that second day that he had to really kick in, but. And that's the thing is there's so many different areas that you can go check. They call Minocqua the Island City. That's the name of it.
Yeah.
If you go look at the pictures, you'll see why. It is surrounded by water completely, but make no mistake, it may be on an island, but there is pretty much every service that you could think of under the sun is available on that. What is that? Is that 85? I think that runs through it.
70 goes east and west. I think 35 is north south through the city.
Gotcha.
But
And
yeah,
that
you're
is
right. It's such a big touristy area, and that's their draw. Is the summertime? You get all of the boat traffic, all the lake traffic that wants to come up, spend some time up there in the Great Northwoods, and then in the wintertime it's snowmobile season. So it just kind of flip flops through the wintertime. All the lakes freeze over, all the snowmobilers come out. So, but they have everything to accommodate everyone that's going to travel there. So if you get a toothbrush, there's a Walmart. Don't worry, you can get everything you need that you'd get back home.
And that to me is where this is the thing to me that really kills me that I can't make this trip again. This is 2 times in a row I couldn't make it up there. But um, the cool thing is, though, is why we say about the touristy and everything's available to you, it doesn't take much of other than maybe 10, 15 minutes to complete, like you said, end up on a body of water that's got more bears on it than it does people.
Yeah,
It's not long, and you can be out of all that, and you can, just be back to you and what attracted, of course, the indigenous people to this neck of the woods many, many hundreds of years ago. I mean, it's a very fertile and, alive up there between the water and the wildlife.
absolutely. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, that's there's they've got a live feed out at that Let's Minocqua website. You can go out there, you can see the town itself, you can see all the family friendly stuff. There's pontoon rental stuff all the way around the city. You can have it as friendly family vacation as you want, or as backwoods as you can handle it. You can get back into that stuff. And I think there's only one reservation area that I saw up in there, but I'm sure there's more. Isn't that Fond du Lac? Is that the one where there's a reservation attached to it?
Lake de Flambeau.
De
Yes. So
Flambeau, that's what it was. De Flambeau.
yeah,
Yep.
there's. I mean, if you don't have to drive far to find a couple others. There's gonna be some smaller reservations on the west side near the Crandon area. Um, I think if you go a little further east as well, I believe that you run into some other reservations. Basically, wherever you find a casino is where you're going to find a
Right.
reservation. In Wisconsin, that's how they're approved. So if you find a casino, you're pretty much going to be on the reservation.
Nice, nice. And are there special regulations for fishing those bodies of water compared to the state?
I don't believe so. It's going to be the same regulations. So if you're compliant with those, the DNR rules apply to all bodies of water. That is. So as long as you're compliant, you'll be fine on all of those bodies of water too.
Are there anything, because we actually do have some border waters between Michigan and Wisconsin up on that
Yes.
north side. Are there any special like heads up that people should be aware of if they plan to go to one of those? Anything they need to keep in mind for that?
Yeah, there's no tollway, so don't have to worry about that. Once you get into Wisconsin, you're fine. But you will have, if you launch in a lake that's completely within the UP, you will need to have a Michigan license. Same thing if you launch in a lake that's completely in Wisconsin, you have to have a Wisconsin license. The bordering bodies of water, you can have either or, so you should be fine that way.
Okay, good. That's pretty much the same as it is just about anywhere else, like lacrosse. And we're talking about lacrosse as well a little bit because that's the next event right after Minocqua. And we're gonna partner again, brother. We're gonna rinse and repeat and go down south here. I'll be honest with you, when this schedule came out, that was the one that I just got bright eyed for because I didn't live but maybe an hour and 15 minutes away from there for about 10 years. And so I have a lot of history and knowledge of the Wisconsin pools 7, 8, 9, pools
Yeah.
4, 5, and 6. I've fished a lot of this stuff and actually kind of cut my teeth in a lot of ways on that 7, 8, and 9 during the BFLs, man. That's where I really, because tell you what, you go fish even a BFL on that deal against 150 of those river rats, dude, you better bring your A game because they're gonna put it to you there. And
Yeah, it's on the if you're fishing 7, 8, 9, it's usually not the guy with the sparkly boat that you have to worry about.
no,
It's the guy that has the beat up John boat that's got you know hodgepodge everything together because he knows exactly what's going on. He's got the bass named. He knows where they're at. So good luck.
got them named. That's good. I like that. Yeah, man, it's and that's going to be another one. I'll be honest with you, I haven't shared this with anybody outside of Josh. We're in the middle of putting something together with Explore Lacrosse right now. Um, to really make this event go off even bigger. There's another group that's in town for the worldwide paddle sports event that's going to be taking place. And there's a chance that we may be trying to work with them with this venue. That's going to include just, I'll be honest with you, it kind of sounded like the Kayak Adventure Series a little bit because there was talk about a theater being involved in this.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And so it looks like these guys are going to, this other organization is going to be in town celebrating what it is that we're about to put on display. And
Perfect. I
so
might
we
as well
thought, hey, man, birds of a feather, let's work together on this thing and see what we can do, right? So we'll have more details once we iron out and try to see what we can actually do there. But the lacrosse event could end up being not just an awesome dual event for both clubs, but this could actually end up being just a really fun ass event for Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and just a really cool deal going on there in lacrosse for everybody, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can put on.
Oh, that sounds really exciting. And the other fun thing about lacrosse is if you don't want to do all that stuff, if you want to really just focus on the fishing,
Yeah.
you're going to you'll have plenty of opportunity. There's so much water there again, and you can find them smallmouth and largemouth, however you'd really like to find them. And most guys, I say that because there's always someone that has a problem. They can't find the fish, but most guys find their five pretty quick out there. It is a great fishery. There's so many fish in there.
Last 2 years ago, the All American held its championship 3-day event there. I went to this. I was still new to the All American. I was still kind of new in the kayak game. I have never, in the 10 years I lived out there, this event a few years ago, I was already back home here in Colorado living. I have never caught as many fish as I did during that time. Now, the problem was I couldn't crack the 17 and a half mark. And the guys that won it up on the top side there, they were busting like 19s galore.
Yeah.
But I'm still telling you, I've never, I mean, it still reigns as one of the most fun events. I stayed the third day because we even if you didn't make the cut for day 3, you could still fish it and get a chance at the hourly big bass that we were putting up. So I stayed and fished up to like 1 o'clock even on the third day, just because I was catching so many fish, having so much fun there. And I was actually, I'll be honest with you, I was down in pool 9 is where I was at, and fishing a little bit of history, but then found them in places I didn't expect to find them as usual. I was catching smallmouth fish on chatterbaits, Nick.
Yeah.
I was like, what in the heck? Yeah, they were just crushing
they're not as
it.
as people think they are. You don't have to fish them all finesse all the time. They'll go after some big stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a 3/8 or half-ounce chatterbaits in there, and these smallies were just crushing it. I mean, trying to pull the rod out of my hand when they'd hit it. I was like, good night.
And those river smallies, for whatever reason, they just fight. I think everyone knows this. They just fight so much harder.
They have to grow up in current, man. I just think they're a little bit leaner. So the guys that weigh them probably don't like them as much, but we love them because they get long and they're lean and they're strong.
They're strong. They are strong fish. And when they turn sideways in the current, and a 2-pounder feels like a 5-pounder in no time.
For sure. And then that day 3, I ended up getting on a frog bite for big greens, and I blew a myth out of the water that, when you catch one in an area, it kind of ruffles up the area and you won't find them there again. I sat in one lily pad hole and just kept fan casting back and forth, catching fish, I bet you, for a solid hour. But again, they're all 16s, 17s, and I'm like,
I think, what was it, FLW that was up there a few years back? I think everyone remembers Edwin Evers when he sat in one little cut.
Pool 7.
Yeah, like 60 bass in a row or 62 bass or something. Just unreal. Like
20 minutes of a lightning strike. He was throwing, didn't matter what color chatterbait he was throwing. He was slinging it up. He had to jump. I know this. Obviously, as you could tell, he had to jump a beaver dam to get in there. And the camera guy had to need a change of pants because Evers took that nitro and just, come up and over this beaver dam to get in there. Getting out was quite the trick, man, for them to try to get, because he couldn't come up on plane back in there because it wasn't deep enough.
See, that's where the guy with the John boat has the real advantage, because he knows that he can get over that thing at low speed.
Yep, for sure. No, you're right, man. Lacrosse is this event here. If we put this stuff together, it's going to have everything that you could ask for. We got some great hosts. Explore Lacrosse. Jeremiah and those guys are opening the doors. They're welcoming us into the area there, which is always makes these events more fun because it takes a lot of weight off the tournament directors for both series because we got somebody that wants us in town. They're going to roll out the carpet there and make sure that our anglers are welcomed and that we got some cool things to offer when we get there. So, and that's folks, if you've never had a chance to get up to the north during the summertime, this is your time to do so. Don't fight the heat down south. Does it get hot up here? Yeah, it can get warm. Make no mistake, and there's humidity. But the nights it cools down, and man, the greenery that you're going to see up here, the north part of this country up there in Wisconsin is just it is just absolutely it's breathtaking, and you gotta come see it. If you're an angler, you have to come get a piece of this, man, for sure. So
Yeah.
talk.
Sorry, Gene, while we're on
Yeah.
weather, if you're worried about the weather for this upcoming weekend, it's supposed to be beautiful. Couple rainstorms today and tomorrow, but it looks like the rest of the week is 70s to low 80s,
Oh man,
sunny, partly cloudy, and it's not going to rain again until next Monday. So great looking forecast for a tournament weekend.
no kidding. I mean, 70s and 80s up there. Are you kidding me? That's just like lights out. That's gonna be for the guys that are camping that trip up there. They're gonna love it. They're not gonna get tore apart, by the temperatures and such.
Right. And still down in the 60s at night. So you don't have to worry about sleeping in a tent. You'll be just fine.
That is awesome. So talk to me about the Minnesota state bird, which is the mosquito. What's that like up there? Is it pretty is it pretty rough or
You're going to want to bring something with some deep,
yeah.
plan ahead.
Hope for about a 5 to 10 mile an hour breeze because that'll keep them off you.
Yeah. The bug spray, you're going to have to use some bug spray.
Yeah.
Keep them off your skin, cover your skin as much as you can. I think everyone knows that much, but yeah, a little breeze would be nice to keep them out of your face.
Yeah.
That's kind of the worst when they start buzzing in your eyes and buzzing in your ears. But yeah, we're gonna have to deal with them. It's gonna be a factor that everyone's gonna have to contend with.
On my back porch, not to go off on too much of a tangent, but I found this so amazing because it took me about 40 some odd years to figure this out. On my back porch, we were trying to figure out because if you step out back, these even here in Colorado, these things will try to carry you off into the field and feast on you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they hit you from behind. And one of the things I looked into, and I never thought of this until someone had mentioned it online that I was reading, mosquitoes suck at flying. They're not good flyers. So the slightest breeze pushes them straight down to the ground. They get out of that breeze. So one of the best mosquito deterrents you can put like on your porch is a good fan.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking to install some ceiling fans on my covered back porch there. And like, okay, I'll just push that air straight down. Chances are that'll keep them, you can do the natural stuff or unnatural, whatever you want, but just a good breeze, man, that keeps them away from you because they can't navigate through that. And I was like, no kidding. Yeah, that's about as environmentally friendly as it gets, man.
Yeah, I mean, we have a little breeze, 6 to 10 miles an hour this weekend, so we should be okay. Hopefully that keeps them down, enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still using bug spray. I don't want to deal with it.
not playing around, right? Hey, we got a guy joining us here that's definitely no stranger to that neck of the woods, Mr. Todd Martins. What's up, Todd? I love me some Mr. Martins. He's a heck of a good
he's
dude.
another one that you have to watch out for up in Minocqua. He's another smallmouth wizard. I don't know if he talks to him the night before or what he does, but he can find fish. He could find 5 fish in a puddle if he had to, I think.
We need to check his DMs, see if he's got smallmouth in there. Yep, chatting with him. We got our connection from the Southeast Georgia kayak fishing team. Hey, Gene and Nick, what's happening, buddy? And a good thermocell also works great. He was their suggestion here. Yes, I keep one of those for the camping. But yeah, I never thought I could probably just clip that thing, throw it in the kayak with me. That'd be a good deal to keep them away.
It'll work
sure.
If you remember to change the cartridge in there. Otherwise, it's just another piece of equipment that you don't need on your kayak.
Right? Exactly. For sure. No, man. So I'm excited, man. This is going to be a great event. Josh is going to be the one making the trip up there. He's going to come up. This has been a bucket list for him to come see. So it's going to be cool that the boss gets a chance to get up there. So you'll be working with him direct. And this is complete honest because I've had so many things going on at the same time. What are the plans for the awards right now? What was the final thought that you guys were working out?
Yeah, sure thing. So our event is going to be just the Saturday because this is a regular trail stop for our club. So ours is just Saturday, and I know your event is the 2-day event. So Saturday and Sunday, your best 10 fish. So, theoretically, guys that are fishing both, they could fish just Saturday and get the 10 fish and be done for the 2-day event.
Heck yeah.
But for the awards, it looks like 4 p.m. Sorry, lines out at 3 p.m., but then the awards will be at 4, so you get an hour of travel time. It is not a mandatory event on that Saturday for our awards, but it's going to be at Brandy Lake Park, which is pretty central to Minocqua. It's actually technically Woodruff is
Nice.
the city that it's in, but it's got a decently sized parking lot. It's got a pavilion, which doesn't look like we'll need because the rain's not in the forecast as of today. And it's got a beautiful lake with a park in the background. So we can walk down to the water and do some pictures after everything is all said and done. Got trophies for first, second, third. Got some other great prizes to be raffled off and given away to anglers fishing the Great Lakes event. And we'll do all of that on Saturday. And I know for the All American, there's no mandatory check-in on after day one. So
Right.
If you're fishing both events and you just want to meet some of the other guys that are up there fishing it, great place to stop on by, hang out for a little while, have a drink with each other, and kind of shoot the breeze.
Dude, I'll tell you what, one of the things we talk about how great the kayak community is, and one of the things that I do love the most is the chance you get to network with people. I've learned more sometimes just in a solid conversation with a group of guys, or listening to or chatting with some guys afterwards, than sometimes I have actually even, a day on the water. Just because it's cool to hear, we all know dock talk. I mean, it's what our podcast is named after. Be careful with the dock talk, right? You don't want to follow somebody else's fishing advice. But this, to me, it is within the kayak game. It's not really, it's not being done on the dock. It's being done afterwards out at the truck. Yeah. And the networking side, meeting these people from all different walks of life, has been just super, super cool. And so, yeah, I would highly recommend. When you come in for this event here, if you're fishing one or the other, take a look at the other one. Now, Great Lakes, you guys are available up on Tourney X, the same. Now, what does it take for somebody to join? Like, let's say one of the All American guys wanted to jump in your event. Is that something they can do?
Yeah, absolutely. We're a non-membership club. The only membership, if you want to call it that, would be for Angler of the Year, which at this point, we're past the deadline to enroll in that. So it's just $50 for the event. You can hop in and do it as a one-time event. Sign up is through Tourney X. We have our own waiver, so you'd have to sign our own waiver.
Perfect.
And of course, have the identifier card that you can print off. There's a link right from Tourney X to print that off.
Perfect. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And for those Great Lakes guys that are in there, I know that this year we also waived the membership piece. And this wouldn't, obviously, most people that would be up there that wouldn't even be worrying about the All American AOI. But our AOI does require membership. But just to jump in this event and get a chance at make this quite a lucrative, weekend for you here, because our payouts for sure are one of the best in the nation out there. There's a lot of money that comes back, even when the fields aren't super huge. So jump on Tourney X there and you get a chance and get signed up for both of these events. Like you said, our 10 fish format offers that ability. If you go out and you crush them and you're a Great Lakes guy and you were entered in the All American, if you crush them and get your 5 biggest up, keep catching, because you can keep submitting, your 10 best fish, regardless of when you catch them. Submit them all on that day one deal there. And yeah, if it could stand and hold. Now, we have had guys, one of the coolest things I've seen is when guys struggle on day one, they get it dialed in for that shortened day two, because our day two ends at noon on Sunday. It's a shorter day. I've seen guys really turn it around from that and bang, come back and get themselves in the money. So
yeah,
you got to, those guys.
Really cool format to have it like that.
For sure. Oh, here we got the boss himself. He's in the middle of between some honeydews and such. Yep. Category AAKS Trail Series. That's check in the comments on Facebook and you'll see it there for us for sure, to be able to sign up and get yourself on that list. Well, listen, man, I can't thank you enough for coming by and stopping and chatting. Who are some of the sponsors that take care of the Great Lakes Kayak Fishing Series, man?
Yeah, we've got a couple that I do want to mention. One of them is actually in Minocqua, so Vickers Eye Care and Quick Graphics. Both of them are club members, both in the Minocqua area. We can check them out this weekend. But bigger companies that help us out, we have Fish USA threw in some fishing rods. We'll be giving one away at this event. One of their signature series rods that they have. Lake Michigan Angler as well. So they run a great shop down in Winthrop Harbor. Got Okuma. They threw in some great gear that we'll give away at our salmon event. Yak Attack, and as well Amped Outdoors. They're a Wisconsin-based company, and honestly, I was using their battery before they sponsored us anyway. So they're a fantastic lightweight battery.
I couldn't agree more. They've been a supporter of the TPO and our mission from day one. When we were an unknown to them, Matt and I chatted over the phone. And we had an amazing conversation. He believed in what we were doing with the TPO, and he was in. I had the pleasure to go to there when I was up visiting some folks. I had a chance to jump across the bridge there and go see the warehouse, see Matt, in person. And that was super cool being there at headquarters. And then I also saw him at the Bassmaster Classic as well. I had a chance to hang around their booth. So yeah, love those guys. Love those guys over there. They do a great job. Well, cool stuff, man. That's, and having local support, that's another awesome deal. Having a couple sponsors right there in the Minocqua area, highly invite those guys. Come on down for the awards, man. Come on down and hang out with the anglers and chat with them down there. Anybody that supports what we do out here and makes it possible for us, we all owe it to them to say thank you at least. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, man, appreciate people that's what really I think can separate us from the other side out there, is the fact that we have very grateful individuals for those people allowing goofballs like you and I to go out and splash around and chase brown and green fish around the country, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome stuff. So, all right. Yeah, I think I think we've pretty much touched on just about everything there. So Minocqua, get out Tourney X, folks. Go check it out. Great Lakes Kayak Fishing Series. If you need any of their contact information whatsoever, just hit us up on DMs here at the True Patriot Outfitters or the Paddle and Fin, and I will see that and we'll get back in touch with you. I'll get you in touch with Nick, and you should be able to find them pretty easy out at Tourney X. Just do the search and bang, they'll pop up there. And same with the All American, man. Get a chance, get on out, help support us here. If you can't make it, spread the word about the events that are going on. Spread the word about what Josh and the team have created out here, because it's an awesome series, a lot of fun, and we get to work with great dudes like you, man. That's you can't beat that.
Yeah, well, likewise. I appreciate the time.
Of course. All right, folks, don't forget, smash that subscribe button. We could use all the help we can get on that subscribe, especially on the TPO side and the Paddle and Fin side on YouTube. That is the big thing we've been pushing on here lately, is our YouTube subscribers. So help us get that number up there. It's not a whole lot that comes in. You're not going to be a multi-bajillionaire at 1,000 subscribers or anything, but it's, every little bit helps, and it helps us put more of our nation's warfighters into kayaks and get them out fishing. We got some great events coming up. Be watching our socials, because we're going to be posting a lot of that. Of course, the work I'm doing with Heroes on the Water, that continues. This Wednesday, we're going to be back out at Chatfield. We're going to have a group out there. So that's always a fun time. Nick, my man, to you and your family, thank you guys so very, very much. We wish you the best, and I wish you tight lines this weekend, man, going out there. And hopefully when we get all done with this, we'll have your top finishers and the All American top finishers. We'll have them come on the show here, and we'll talk about the mayhem that was the roadrunner style up there, and see what everybody thought of the event.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome stuff. Good stuff. All right, folks. You know the drill on this stuff. Like, subscribes. That's as I'm talking to you, I'm also looking for the things I need. There we go. Likes and subscribes. That's the best way to help support what we're doing out here. Check it out, All American Kayak Series. Check out all the great supporters and the Great Lakes Kayak Fishing Series as well. Follow along here. We'll have the results after all that good stuff next Monday. I don't know what show is going to be on next Monday. Maybe it'll be the result from that whole thing. I think that's what we might end up doing. As always, folks, tight lines. Be safe.